The Historical Commission meeting. It's November 18th, 2020. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that the meeting be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8252 prior to the meeting. So in attendance today are Barry Schwarzel, Vice Chair, Ruth Lonemus, Clerk, and me, George Bacon, Chair. Okay. So the first item, I don't have the agenda in front of me. Somebody read the first item.
CPC is the first one.
Okay, so committee report, CPC meeting. Do you have anything to report?
Yes, at the last CPC meeting, we just reviewed the articles the warrant articles that were passed at the fall town meeting regarding the Sandy Pond Schoolhouse and the Affordable Housing Trust Grant Agreement with the Sandy Pond School. We had to just sort of change the wording so that it complied with the historical guidelines for historic preservation restrictions. So we may want to make sure that that historic preservation restriction got in there without any lag time due to some other things that have happened. But anyway, what's that?
That was in the warrant that was passed in the article.
No, but it's in the draft that we just had at our meeting. It was in there, and I changed it to. No, I didn't change it, but I suggested it be changed to the historic preservation restriction and the historical commission guidelines in perpetuity. So
okay,
that clause was put in there. So
okay, good. All right. So anything else?
not as far as CPC, no.
Okay. Sandy Pond School Committee, anything to report?
Yeah, they had a meeting last night. Yeah, no, Monday night, and reviewed the town meeting vote. It gave them more money to start in phase 2. So phase 1 is done. That's the security, and they're waiting for quotes for the security system, a crawl space hatch, and then electrical update. And then phase 2, the town meeting just funded, fully accessible washroom. This is all in the warrant. Accessible entrance, restore the windows, HVAC, repairing and replacing and doing things to the grounds. So that's phase 2, and they're just beginning to work with CPC to get the funding available to get the specs out. And the slideshow that they presented at town meeting, that's what I was reading from. And hoping they got money they got a grant from Freedom's Way to do an orientation video of the schoolhouse in Irving. The current president is working on that, and at some point, whenever everything's reopened, they're talking about an open house and welcoming people back into the building. But that's down the road a ways, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Sandy Pond School.
Okay.
Questions about what they're doing?
No.
Okay.
Are they still looking for other grants?
Yes. He didn't
Okay.
really say too much about that this time, but I'm sure they are looking for funding.
Okay. All right, what's our next item?
Okay. Is you Friday? Friday. Okay. Sorry. The next thing you had was the vacancy.
Okay. So we had a citizen reach out to us interested in joining the commission. Margaret Duran, are you there, Margaret?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to join the commission?
Okay. So my name's Margaret Durand. I usually go by Maggie. I am a lifelong resident of Ayer. I have been heavily involved in the Boy Scouts in town with Troops 2 and 3. I received my bachelor's in history from Suffolk back in 2017, and I've been in my graduate program for history and archives since last May. I was clicking around looking for a historical society in town because eventually I'm going to have to do an internship and a capstone for my master's, and I was also interested in seeing if we had a historical society just to see it. And I came across the commission and I found the vacancy, so I clicked apply, and here I am.
Okay. Yeah, we tried to form a historical society, but we couldn't generate enough interest to get that critical mass for a group.
Mhm.
So, but we're still hopeful that someday we'll have one in town.
I'm very interested. If we wanted to start one, I'd be interested in that.
Sure.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Like George said, we put some feelers out there and tried to generate interest. We just didn't have anybody that stepped forward or had an interest, which is unfortunate. There is a lot of history in this town. And it's tough for us.
A lot of effort and a good strong group of people to pull it together and move it forward based on my limited past experiences, other historical societies.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all interested in history, which is why we're all here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. So I know in your email you talked about archiving for the commission. We don't have a lot of things to be archived. We've got a lot of little scraps of information, but not anything big at this time, although I'm sure there are things out around the town that we'd love to have, digital copies of. I'd love to have a digital archive if we could.
The other place you might want to touch bases with is the library.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to Sam. She's the associate, next level down from the head of the library.
Yeah.
And she'll probably have some good ideas for you too.
Sweet. Thank you.
As well as the commission.
Okay. So you're okay with our usual meeting time, second Wednesday at 7?
Or
At
4,
7.
depending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, good. Does anybody else have any other questions or comments?
Nope, other than I'd like to accept Maggie's application for the Historical Commission.
Is that a motion that I have to write down?
Yes, it'd be a motion to recommend her appointment to the selectmen. Is that your motion, Barry?
Yes.
Okay.
Seconded.
All right. So the motion was made by Barry and seconded by Ruth. Barry, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ruth, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Okay, Maggie, we'll forward our recommendation on to the selectmen and they'll take it up at probably one of the December meetings and hope to see you in January, at least virtually.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your interest.
Yeah, thank
A great addition.
Thank you.
Okay, I think the last item is the inventory.
Yep.
So I sent in the pre-application for the inventory grant,
Okay.
and after talking with Peter Stott at Mass Historic, I laid out that we'd be doing, I think it was 52 sites that were left on the list from Sanford's report, and updating the downtown area report, and there were two other area forms to be done as well. That probably wouldn't come up to the $25,000 minimum that they want to see a project cost. So I also said that we'd add some additional buildings onto the list and also have the consultant review the list and make additional recommendations.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on adding some more structures and buildings. I'm double checking and some around, cruising around town, trying to add some to what we already have done. And I found maybe I have, and plus that's a few years old, and a lot of structures that didn't qualify for the 50-year cutoff are now eligible to be considered for inventorying.
Yeah.
There may be some new ones on the list, and maybe some mid 20th century subdivisions and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm working on
Okay.
a list.
Yeah, I apologize. I should have been a little bit more on top of this, and I didn't. So I apologize. But I'll
Sorry.
with this back problem here, mine's been kicking my butt. But if it doesn't get better, I have to have surgery. I'm not looking forward to that. So
No.
Yeah.
anyway,
All right. So the final application, assuming we make it to the first cut, is due in February. So
okay.
I don't remember the exact date, but I'll look it up and let you know.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else to talk about?
And the last thing you had was 150th planning, and
Oh, yeah.
hopefully Barry went to that meeting,
Barry was there.
Yeah, I'll let you-
zoomed into it or something.
Yeah.
I did miss it.
Yeah. Not a lot was said. We're sort of starting over at ground zero right now. And Alan was talking a lot about getting a logo for the event, and he wants to use a waving hand because the town is friendly and would
That's
symbolize
sorry.
the friendly town. And
Any town celebrating, any town in the country celebrating 150th.
yeah. So anyway, he's going to try and organize a open Zoom meeting for anybody in town to get in on and get involved with sometime in early December. So hopefully we'll generate more interest then.
Okay, he gave me the name of someone working on their Eagle Scout, named Will McMahon, and wants to do. And said this is a couple months ago. Said this Eagle Scout candidate, and I don't know if they're still going to wanted to do a project in connection with the 150th. And did we have any ideas? So I'm just going to throw that out.
Okay.
In case any come up with any that he could specifically.
All right.
Eagle Scout appropriate projects to work on.
Okay. Well, if anybody thinks of anything, I say,
Call Alan.
go directly to Alan and let him know.
8206, just give him a call.
George, didn't Alan suggest that maybe on the 14th of February having something,
Yes.
and then maybe push it out a year so that we could do
Yeah,
more projects that could involve people in the same room or the hall. But that was just a suggestion. There's nothing firm yet.
Oh, on the actual anniversary, you do something virtual.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Things are so up in the air right now.
Yeah, hopefully somewhere in 2021 we'll be able to have a party.
But again, that was just a suggestion.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Anything else?
Nope, not for me.
Let's see.
Ruth?
Oh, let's see, what we did McDonald, I did that one, the other two can wait. Joseph M. Connors, one of the monuments that monuments that around town with the veterans, World War I, World War II, used to stand between Archers and Subway in that little piece of ground there, and suddenly it's down the sidewalk by the fire station. I noticed that 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I finally sent a little note to Robert Pombrand, the town administrator, to ask if he could figure out why it got moved and it should be back. And I did find something in an old town meeting that said it was voted to place it where it originally was. So I'm just waiting to hear what he has to say about that. That's the only. And Joseph M. Connors is the person that the Legion Post is named after. So
Okay.
keep tabs on that. I think that's all. Yeah, that was the only other thing, and the Eagle Scout project. Those are the only two things I had.
Okay. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Motion made by Barry, seconded by Ruth. Barry, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ruth, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.